pasando. Aquí está pasando.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Pasando DTLA. This is your boy Tostones.
Ese es el padrino.
Y recuerda, aquí está pasando. We are overcomers for real. We had a little minor threat. We got rid of it thanks to Big Boy Joe.
Hooked it up.
And we're here
Went
with
to the
South
hookup.
LA Cafe. What's good?
I am cracking up. This is way better than I expected.
We have been vaccinated, at least the three of us, and we've done COVID tests, and now we've also had at least 2 margaritas.
We tried to do this before we finished it, but
Celia has said that like 18 times in the last 30 minutes.
Because this is our first live recording. If you're tuning in, can you let them know that you hear us? And I don't want you guys coming for us and telling us, why are we without our masks?
Right.
So,
You're totally right.
I'm just not,
That's right.
because they'll be in the coffee shop tomorrow.
Right.
Right. They'll be here like
Yeah,
making
it's
sure
real.
that you know that you need to comply.
You
Hey,
know.
shout out to Monica Ramos, always in the back of the
Hey,
scene.
she over there doing her thing.
Yep. All right, folks, look, I need you to understand
over
that while we were figuring out the technical issues,
Right.
we went about business. Like, we don't do this for technical stuff. We do this to get to know people.
Right.
So we were listening to the story of Joe and Celia, and then Joe went on a serious tangent of his life. So then Celia got the phone out, and she said, look, this is high-quality content. So he started telling us about his life story. So if you want to hear the beginning of the story, you need to go to South LA Cafe Instagram, and you need to follow them, first of all. Second of all, you need to watch it.
Yes.
Now,
Please.
what we're going to do now is
That point.
Jump right back in.
we're going to jump right back in, and Joe was telling us about a time of his life that we are calling BC because it was before Celia,
Right.
and he's telling us like all this crazy stuff that's happening, right?
Right.
So right now, Joe is homeless, living in a luxury car.
Wait, not right now. Not right now. In the story.
not right
in
now.
the point of the story.
My bad.
In
my
the
bad.
point of
The
the
point
story.
in this story.
At this point in the story, the transition word was missing. So
Yes.
Joe,
Hey, and my mom and your stepmom are listening in. I see Leanne.
Oh,
so,
there-
all right, Leanne.
Shout
you're
out
good
to
for
Leanne.
making
Oh, here we
comments
go.
in the
oh, so
chat.
now you got to act up.
Oh, of
No,
course.
She knows everything.
She knows
Right.
the whole
And
story.
wait, let's just say at some point we need to get to why before Celia he was trying to become a police officer, but whatever it called AC after
AC.
Celia, he was not.
Julia, shout out to Julia. You know, Julia, she was like
Yes.
excited to watch. Maybe if you record it now, you can post it later for us to see.
Yes,
Gotta
we
love
will.
technical
We
difficulties.
will. That's right.
Thank you, Julia.
Okay,
Actually,
you,
she will
Julia.
be on the YouTube. So go
Joe.
The leader.
Where am I?
Joe, you are in the in
what
this
point?
at this point of
the
the story, you are in a car,
Right.
and you are about to paint somebody's
Yes.
curb.
Yes.
So what's going on?
So,
Talking to the mic.
at this point in the story, or my life, actually, the story sounds funny. My life, I had just seen someone. Let's go back to that. I just seen someone paint curves.
Yep.
I was getting really short on funds.
Right.
Living in your car ain't easy, people.
Nope.
So I was getting short on fun. I saw someone painting curbs, and I saw him get some money. And I said, hey, well, I could do that. So I went and spent about $14 on some stencils, black paint, and white paint. And I went door to door painting curbs.
How much did it cost?
I charged people $5 or whatever they wanted to give me.
Wait, $5?
$5 or whatever
That's
they wanted
solid.
to give me. Yeah, it's
I would pay you.
thank
Right.
you. And then you have your nice new curb, and it was
Yeah.
cool. I got to the point where I was getting fancy. I started putting different colors, all that stuff at the end. But at the beginning, it was just
Joe
it
was
just-
here.
It was just yeah, exactly. It was- I should go back and grant you a lot of this was on the west side.
Okay.
So a brother knocking on your door, so it's interesting. So
But he does
again,
look like Denzel, so those white ladies were like,
Okay.
"We'll give you $5 real quick."
so I was getting nice tips. To needless to say, so I went from that to God, what was I saying?
Did
Lost
it
my
get you
thought.
back on your feet?
It got
How did it back on your feet?
it got me back on my feet. But what was I saying? Oh, the business got good, and I'll tell you how. I was still looking for a job regularly, a real job. But the business got good because I knew a young lady at Pip, which is Pip Printing, used to be on Venice, and it sold to Kinko's later, but it was called Pip. And she printed up some nice flyers for me.
Okay.
Now, let's
And
just
now-
ask,
wait,
was this one of your honeys?
This was a girl that I was interested in at the time.
Just a few little things.
I mean, you know, you had
All
to do,
interested
honestly,
parties.
honestly, you had to do what you had to do. During,
Best thing about it, that
you know,
brought
I
him
don't
to you.
want that person to
I'm
walk
not
in the
worried
South
about
LA
it.
Cafe and say,
I am not
"Man,
worried.
you used me." It wasn't like that. And I think
no.
so basically, she printed up some flyers for me, 400 or 500 of them, and and they had my pager number on it because I had a pager from PageNet. So when I went to one place, and they knock on the door, they weren't there. I leave a flyer, and before I would leave that block, I was getting paged again because I had done a few, and the people were like, "I want that too."
Yeah.
So it became a nice business. So if you do the math, you know, I was doing really well living in my car, and then I transitioned. I can't mess this story up. I transitioned to an apartment. I think. No, I ended up getting in an interview. I ended up getting a job.
Okay.
Guess we'll talk about subliminal working.
Serendipity.
Subliminal. Tell you why.
Serendipity.
Because I wore PageNet. I ended up working for PageNet.
That's called serendipity.
Oh.
That's serendipity?
Yes.
Okay, it is.
Yes.
It sure is. It fits. Okay.
And subliminal.
And
but
subliminal.
yeah.
No.
The subliminal, I keep
Well,
looking
it
at
was subliminal
my
for them
pager.
to hire you when they saw your pager that
There
they,
you go.
you know what I mean? I see what you're saying.
So, and I still was living in my car for a while, and then I don't know. That was a 6 to 7 month period.
Okay.
And then I found me a place,
And you got back on your feet.
and I got back on my feet. Thank God.
Amen.
Yes, and it worked out. And
Wow.
I went from PageNet. No, that's not the end of the story. Could tap my leg.
Let them
You
know
wanted to
that
hear it
they-
all, right? You're
No,
gonna ask me the question.
Your whole life
so
story?
yeah. So what we want to hear right now is the transition between
that to-
BC to AC. That's what's in our minds.
So a few months
Wait,
after
can we just
that,
clarify for those who are tuning in? That's a bit of an inside joke because while we've been drinking our tequila and doing Instagram lives, BC is before
Before
Celia,
Celia.
AC is after,
After Celia.
Celia.
That's
so
right.
what we have been discussing so far is before Celia. Now we're going to talk about.
right? And I'm not ashamed of any of this, folks. This is
what
real
is there
deal.
to be ashamed
There's
of?
no
Okay,
shame.
I'm just saying.
There's no shame
I'm
in
just
there.
saying.
Hold on.
Literally, everybody here has been homeless at some point.
Okay, cool.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's LA. You're
Yeah,
not in LA.
You've been living on the couch.
Exactly.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yep.
But-
We've been there.
What we
And
would
my
like to
pride
know,
didn't put me on the
right?
couch. I did my own car.
What we would like to know is how all of that brought you to see and how you guys met.
All that brought me to see, because now remember I said I had a lot of friends, so I was seeing what
One of
wasn't-
which was Meredith from Grey's Anatomy.
Oh. Wait, in the car?
I don't
was
know.
prior. That was
I never
prior.
asked that. I never asked that question.
That was golden.
That was prior. That was golden. That was golden. Isn't that crazy? Why you bring that up? That lady will be calling us.
Well, I'm
so-
sure she
All right.
remembers.
And I don't care. I don't care. Truth is the truth. She knows it. So the before Celia, all that, and I had a
How did you
few
meet your
people,
wife?
and I saw. Let me tell my story. And then I saw what I understood at that point, because it was a good time, enough time, really. Even though I was with people, I was really alone. You know what I mean? They were just.
Ooh, you got to say that again because you know
Even though I
that's
was with people, I was really alone. I was out there, and
Amen.
I was getting me together, honestly. And unfortunately, the people that were around me at that time, it was just a need, and they were helping me during that path, during that travel in my life, and so I saw what was good or what was bad, and so I could tell absolutely what a good woman was. I was ready. You know what I mean? So when Celia came in my life, which was I don't know, a couple months after,
We do have a story.
And
Can
I
you tell
had-
the story of how
I'm
we
sorry
I
for
had my
context. A
apartment.
couple months after.
No.
What? Because just for context for the people, like
A couple months after he had gotten his job and had gotten his
After
apartment.
that job.
Yes.
Got it.
You were
Yes.
actually living with your mom before you had transitioned.
Oh
into,
shit! I forgot about that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so maybe I
Celia,
can
let's
chime in.
let's
Let me
bring
ch-
it back.
let me chime in. Let me
Make it
chime
happen.
Well, now that we
Make
overlap
it
in
happen.
the story,
Yeah.
she know more.
Yes,
Yeah.
let the woman tell the story
Right.
of how we met.
That's
okay?
right.
Oh
Now,
shoot!
now the
Ja-
story of
nice.
how Joe
Forgot
and
about that.
Celia met has two versions, right?
Okay.
As they say, there's
It's
you know,
always two stories and the truth.
There's always three, but
Two stories and then the truth.
right. And so Joe has his version, but I'm going to tell you.
I just missed that part.
I want
That's
let's
important.
hear
Go.
yeah. Let's hear Celia's version.
Just so you know, if you're
Stop.
tuning in, you're used to seeing Joe drinking coffee, but this is Joe drinking tequila. Which is one of the things that I love about him because he's a he's a lightweight.
You knocked the mic off.
There you go.
He's a
Oh, we
lightweight.
get it.
And he's very authentic, and I
I'm
love
good.
that.
All right,
about
so
him.
let's hear the story.
So,
I'm
Celia.
not that light.
Okay. So the story of Joe and Celia and how we met was Joe. Okay, I was a senior at UCLA.
Okay.
That's
Joe,
crazy.
Joe was a grown man, and he was
Divorced.
he was divorced. We didn't talk about his divorce, but he was divorced and already had children.
Okay.
But I didn't know that at the time.
Okay.
Now, I had been a high school and college intramural athlete in basketball at UCLA. He had been a high school and college player as well. There's a whole story about his basketball career, so we'll get into that.
We'll get to that
another time.
later. Yeah.
We need to know about that.
But yes,
Oh my God!
But-
We'll have enough time on the tape.
yes, but
For that story.
he had transitioned into becoming a basketball referee, as well as I had just gotten started in becoming a basketball referee because that was the advice. Like you're ending your career, stay in the game, become a referee. Now, granted,
Give back to the game.
I'm a senior at UCLA, so my mentor is a Division I men's basketball referee, and he's like, I'm going to show you the ropes and get you started. Now, if you guys know anything about me, I take things very seriously. So when I take on
Too seriously. At that time, go.
when I take on a new thing, I want to like study it, I want to practice it, and then I start teaching it, right? So I'm a natural teacher and mentor.
I like that too.
in that regard, I was like, I'm not playing with this. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to be D1. I'm going to be getting
WNBA.
paid. I'm going to be WNBA. I'm going to be the best.
Get paid.
And so get paid, all that. So I'm like day one going with my business suit on, like I am not playing,
So
okay?
serious.
So I go to watch the best referees in the city at the city championship game.
State.
No,
State.
no.
You watch City
no.
first?
Just
Oh,
let me
okay.
tell the story.
Just saying.
So at the city
I was doing a state
champion-
game. Go ahead.
I like this is love though.
Go
This is
ahead.
like-
Go
this is
ahead.
love.
Go ahead,
This is
baby.
what it is.
At the city championship game. If you guys are watching or you watch this later, please chime
They
in the
know.
comments if you're part of a duo.
They know.
Because I'm sure you can relate to this husband, wife.
I can
you
a
know,
little bit.
Male,
I
female,
can't.
partner dynamic. We got to get you someone.
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
One day.
Everybody want to
We
get
got you covered.
him married.
All right, let's continue the
He's
story.
going to come to one of our parties. And then he's going to get
flash
hooked up.
forward to your future. This is what you have to look
Okay,
forward to.
got
Not
it.
be finishing each other's
And it's all
sentences
good.
Or not
It's
listening
so
one
good.
way or the other, however you want to look at it. But
D1 City.
I go to the city championship game and or state championship
Okay.
game at Cal State Dominguez Hills.
It's a state game.
Just be quiet.
If you're
and
talking about
listen.
me, it was a state game.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Get the story
The
right.
state championship game.
It was a state semi.
That's important.
It was actually, quarterfinals actually. Sorry,
Ooh,
it's not semi.
okay.
Quarterfinals of the state.
It sounds like you want to tell the story.
I don't. I want to correct that one little piece.
Okay.
Go.
Let's see how long
City
you can.
championship would have been at the sites. It would have been at the sports arena.
Who cares?
I want to get the story right.
Who cares?
Okay.
You're all into my story.
But
Go.
after the location and time,
Can we
location,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
happens?
Yeah.
Yeah, now you're making
Go.
me have to fast
All
forward
right, go.
through the
Go.
whole
You
story.
know.
No, don't fast forward.
All
We
right,
want the
all right,
details.
All right.
No,
Gotcha.
just
Go.
get the time and
Okay.
Yeah.
place.
Now Joe wants to understand it was the state championship semifinal game. Okay.
Okay.
At Cal State Dominguez Hills. So I go to observe. I'm
Okay.
like in the stands with my little clipboard.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm taking notes. Okay. They do what? They lift their hand. They blow their whistle. They do whatever. I go at halftime. It's halftime. I go knock on the door.
No way.
Yeah. I'm like, hi, Joe.
So I go groupie.
That's what he
Hey,
thinks.
come on.
Well, I thought groupies was for the players.
No. No.
right,
We got
all right.
groupies too. You be shocked.
All right, Celia, keep going.
So
Keep going.
I go in.
You be
thinking,
shocked.
It's halftime. Let me talk to these referees and learn the game, right?
While they're
Joe-
trying to set up like everything.
Joe's saying,
crazy.
Great, this super beautiful groupie is here. Let me talk to her. Well, we end up having an amazing conversation.
Yeah.
But and
No. Go ahead.
and normally I would have given him my number. I'm a very forward person.
Okay.
So I was raised to be like very confident and just wait,
All
just
right.
wait, it's okay. And so, but because I was there in a professional capacity, I was like, I can't do this. So I just left. But I remembered in my mind, I was like, ooh, that guy, like I felt something, right? Now fast forward 4 months, my mentor, again, I'm at UCLA, he invites me to go to a
let me tell some
basketball.
of that.
You gotta just be quiet.
Okay.
A basketball development
Gotta
camp.
tell me. Let me tell some of that. Go. You gotta let me tell some of that
Just so
story.
you know, you're killing my story.
I'm not. Go.
If you can just hold
This
your,
is
hold
good
your
stuff.
thought.
This is good
hold
stuff.
Your thought.
I'm enjoying
hold
it.
Your thought.
I really
Hold
am.
your
What we
thought.
what we
We'll
gonna
get
do
to you.
is that we're gonna make sure we don't pass that story when she's done, so that we
Yeah.
you finish it, and then we go out. We're not gonna let that pass. We're not
Go.
gonna let that pass.
Go, Celia.
Oh,
I'm not giving you tequila again on an interview.
No, you shouldn't.
Right now.
You shouldn't.
You're fired.
you shouldn't. Go.
If
Go,
you wasn't
Celia,
my
go.
husband and my business partner, I don't know if I'd do another podcast.
Oh wait, this podcast is getting too nice. Let's turn it down because it's good. The people gonna love to see this.
They're like, we
I'm
got like
trying-
1,000 people
ratings,
watching now. It's
ratings.
crazy.
Here we go.
Yeah, we do have
Okay.
1,000 people.
So,
look at loving Joe, so persistent. Shout out to Brody.
what's up, Brody?
Shout out to
All
Brody.
she wants to do is
That's
tell
my
the
in-law.
story.
You know, Brody, that's my in-law.
Yeah, I know Brody.
All right.
What's up, man?
All right,
I
so
see
let's
you.
finish the story.
So, it's like my mentor is like, we're doing a basketball development campus at UCLA.
Yeah.
I'll scholarship you. I'm like, okay, cool.
Perfect.
I don't know anything. This is not my world.
Yeah, that wasn't.
I just show up. I get there. I walk in the door. It's all men. It's like 30 men
Let me take
and
it from
me.
there, baby.
This is sports.
Okay, go ahead. You
All right,
really-
so from
you-
that
okay.
point, she said what she missed. Walking in the door.
was persistent.
Walking in the door.
Okay.
The meeting started at 8 o'clock. Okay?
Uh-huh.
They closed the door at 8 o'clock.
Oh,
Now, this is a big ass meeting because John Wooden himself is coming.
okay.
Okay, so all of us are like geeked. Now, when I say all of us, it was all men. Okay, so when the door closed, there was one seat. My boy was next to me, and there was one seat next to him, empty. And we were all of us said, man, when homeboy comes in, because it was
Homeboy, aka John Wooden.
no, we were talking about the
The
guy
person
that's
that-
Yeah, the
when
other
he
friend.
comes in, he gonna get it because like they
He's
close the
late.
door at 8.
He's late.
He's gonna look
Right.
bad. So
Yeah.
he's already got a notch against him. All of us trying to get jobs.
I'll walk in.
So it's a notch against him already. So like we're all like, laughing. And homeboy come in. Wow.
But instead, the door is open.
8:02.
There was a light and everything like.
and she steps in, hottie, looking
Except in
beautiful.
my white Adidas
And I was wait, hold on. I go, damn. And then nobody's like says anything because they thought it was gonna. All of us are shocked.
Yeah.
And quick action, thinking. Tell you how I am. My homeboy was talking to somebody else. He wasn't even looking who was happening at the door. I said, my man, I need more elbow room. You're too close to me. Can you move over?
That's perfect.
But homeboy had a
Boom.
homeboy
That's
had a
the
crush
move.
I
on
didn't
me
know
too.
later he had a crush on her. So he
Oh.
had no idea. So I moved him over and the rest, dropped the mic. And she sat right next to me.
Yeah, because you
And if
made
I don't
the move.
If I don't make that move, as goofy as it sounds, if I don't make that move, we have to have another time of meeting.
Yeah.
But because she sat right next to me,
That's how you know. That's how you know it was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
because you prepared the space, but she mentioned something that she left and she was like, oh,
She
I
was
smell
thinking
something.
about it.
So when she
Before.
got
All
in,
right,
I
yeah.
bet you she was like, boom, and then the space was there, and then
this
boom.
shows you also because
Here, now she
I
can take
knew-
over from
I
here.
knew exactly who he was. He didn't remember.
I didn't remember her.
That's right. So
Because-
who made the first move? Like when you were sitting next to each other,
Well,
were
it
you
was
like,
one of
I
those
think it
things.
was-
It was one one of those things where all day we were doing different games, but
Okay.
he would like come and watch my game,
Uh-huh,
and then afterwards
yeah.
we would talk a little
She
flirty.
was-
Yeah,
she's
you
my
know,
But at
partner.
the end of the day, if you guys know UCLA, okay, we started at Poly Pavilion, and that we ended the day at the men's gym, working a game together
Oh.
with the third partner. This
oh.
old
Look at God.
yeah,
that's terrible.
God had a plan. This guy that had no clue what he was doing,
terrible.
and so the two of us were like making eyes the whole time,
Oh,
having that connection.
you were like, oh yeah, that was a charge.
Yeah.
That wasn't a
Wait,
blocking.
Seriously.
Wait, how did y'all
He was
officiate that
really-
game? That was
he
horrible
was
for the
really-
players.
He was really bad. He was really bad.
But
was
then,
terrible.
but then the camp was over, and being a woman, I was like, or at least this woman, I was like, he needs to work a little bit for it. So I
he
just
does.
left, right? I'm like, camp is over. I'm leaving men's gym. I'm going back to Poly Pavilion, going back to my car. If he is really interested like I feel he is, he's going to find me on my way back, right? So I'm like booking my way
I ain't
back.
mad.
Okay, I'm back,
I'm not
I'm back,
mad.
I'm back. Next thing I know, excuse me, hey, how about we go out tonight?
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and
That's
so,
me.
but I was like, I have plans.
Okay.
Yes.
She had plans.
But I'll be here tomorrow. How about you? And he says, oh, yeah. I'm going to be here tomorrow, too.
I was supposed to be at the NBA camp. I had no business being at
So
that
he
camp the next
walks me
day.
to my car and says goodbye. The next day I come, I'm refereeing the game. I see him on the sideline. I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to
I
connect.
was up in the thing, remember, up top, yelling down at you. But go ahead.
Thank you for the specifics.
That's
The
important,
difference,
yeah.
the difference.
And as I leave, he's gone. Okay? I walk to my car and I'm like, if this dude was really feeling me, like he would have found a way
Fantastic.
to let me know.
Wait, no. Can you finish that thought? Because that's important.
Yeah, yeah.
If this dude was really feeling me, he would have found a way to let me know, and he would have left a card or something for
That's
me.
yes.
Yes.
I
right?
agree.
Okay, Joe.
That's not normal.
That's
I
like
agree.
Lil Durk.
And
You
what
see
I
that-
do-
you
First
see
of
that
all-
video of Lil Durk and when Kim Vaughn talks about him, he's like,
Right.
you see that's
Yeah. So why didn't you leave a card, man? That's
And guess what I did? I left
Yes.
the card in the window
oh.
Yes.
with my number.
He left a little
Oh,
card,
all right,
a business
game.
card.
A
We
business
still have
card
the business
from
card
Page
24
Net.
From
years
Orchid?
later.
I still have it. Page that.
Oh, page.
Remember,
I got
I
you.
was, yeah, you
Yeah,
missed
the transition
Yeah,
transition
yeah.
there.
Transition.
So-
He was a PageNet man at this time.
Yes. And matter of fact, I sold the contract to the city.
Can I finish
For
the
their
story
pages.
now?
Oh,
Can I wrap the story? Can I put a bundle on it?
yeah, let's put a bundle on it.
So to put a bundle on the story of Joe and Celia, but this could be
There's much more to this.
yes, but
There's more to talk to.
there is
Yes.
yes. But we went on our first date the next
Oh
day.
my God.
We had a marathon date that went literally 14 hours.
That's
we
amazing.
told each other we couldn't.
What's going-
We were like,
I was like,
we were
yes.
like, let's
Oh,
go
okay.
let's go to another location,
Another
another
one,
location,
another
and we
one.
literally poured our entire life stories out. We told all of
Wow.
our like baggage, and we just literally almost fell in love on the first date. And then since that day, we cut our benches. All both of us were like,
Oh, the roster was
The
out.
roster was out.
The roster
That's
was
how it
out.
normally
I told
works when you get
remember I
married.
said,
That happened to me.
I built
Yeah.
this
With
up.
my
But
wife.
I said,
Wait.
I said, when
That's-
you
that's-
see a good one, oh, sorry.
No, I'm literally gonna say the same thing, but let me you say it and I'll say it after.
When you see a
Listen.
good one, you know.
You just
Like,
that's a fact.
You just know. And
The roster's out.
And she gave me everything that night. Like,
oh.
just unloaded. And so did I, which in most cases are not done on first dates.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
you don't give
Yeah,
up
yeah.
yourself like that.
Definitely not.
But I felt so comfortable and so I was talking about my ex.
Oh no.
Come on,
Yeah.
bro.
That's terrible.
You don't do that.
No,
You
that's
don't do
dope,
that on the
though.
first
He
date.
cried a little
He
bit.
cried?
Here.
But see, that's the thing. You don't do that in first date in this
In this-
that's the society. That's the way it works
Yeah.
when you hide things from someone and then
Yeah.
they learn all that like months later
then
and
you
then you're
gotta
like,
deal
"Oh,
with it."
why is this not working out? And then that's what happened to me with my wife. That we just got married, but we've been
I
dating
saw
for 4.
that.
Oh,
you.
congrats, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
You know we were
You
out
guys
there.
are gorgeous.
Yeah, no, you guys, you're
Thank you.
beautiful.
Shout out to Heidi
Beautiful.
Rodriguez Aponte.
Hey, but sometimes you gotta lose Will
But-
in the bench.
But anyway, that was, what I was gonna say is that's how it is. That's what happened to me with my first date. We
Wow.
automatically had the best date, and
Yeah.
then right at then and there, cut of the roster because it
Right.
was like I was like, this girl.
I need
has
to
is the
zone in.
one.
just gotta stay
Yeah.
here.
See, so I know I'm not the only one.
No,
That's
you,
how you
you
do it.
guys,
Yeah.
you guys, that's beautiful.
That's how you do when you
There's
find
hope
it.
for you, Albie.
No,
There's hope.
yes,
This is
yes.
what the future could hold for you.
Yes.
Entonces seguimos.
Let's continue with the story.
Seguimos.
I was like, get off me and just go with the story.
All right.
That's
Look,
the story of how we met.
that is a beautiful story. I've never heard the story up until right now. Well,
Wow.
your whole story, that was just a blessing. And then the
Thank
BC to AC, I could tell that you needed that AC in your life.
Yes.
So
'Cause it was hot.
It was hot.
But what you need to find out is why he went from being interested in becoming a police officer to
being a firefighter?
absolutely not being interested after he met me.
So we'll get to that.
Yeah, 'cause I don't
But
even know what that story
right now, what we really want to hear is South LA Cafe.
Yes.
How did that get started, and what has been to you
25
the
years later.
movement? Yeah, 25 years later. Like, how did that? What was the inception of it, and what is driving that movement, which is huge?
It is huge. And we're
Yeah,
just
I
getting
answered
started.
the last one, so you can start off, and then I'll chime in. Go.
But Joe, you can't interrupt if you're gonna give her the
I'm
floor.
not. No.
Clearly, that's something that's, a challenge.
We got Monica.
If she gets stuck, I'll help.
Monica's laughing.
If she gets stuck, I'll help.
Right. Monica's got my back over there.
Yes.
Thank you, Monica.
We're doing good.
Monica's our producer, so she's gonna be like,
She's like,
Right.
stop.
Yeah.
Cutting it out. Cutting it out.
She's over you.
Well, we met in 1997, okay? So just to
There's your
say,
dates.
that's our inception date.
Okay.
Great
and
year.
so here we are
No worries.
coming up on 24 years, I think, if I'm doing the math right, this summer. And in about 1999, this guy, so my parents are community organizers, political organizers, came up in the civil and women's rights movements, have been working in communities since they were like 17, 18 years old, right? So if people look at me and they're like, I don't understand where this lady came from and what, explain to
She
me.
was-
It's I'm a mix of two people that have dedicated their lives to community organizing in revolutionary ways, right? So I can go into my parents forever and the organization that I grew
Amazing
up in.
folks.
But
Shout out to Eric. Shout out to Leanne.
yeah, but I grew up with a picket sign in my hand. You know, I'm that kid. I've been at demonstrations since literally I was born. My
Yeah.
mom was pregnant with me when she was, you know, a foreman on the, or I don't know if that's the right title, but the
Line chief.
the leader. She'll probably say in the comments, the leader of the United Auto Workers on the assembly line. You know, supervising people, but also getting them to join the union.
Yeah.
Pregnant with me, woman. You know,
Crazy.
back in the late 70s. So that's my background that I come into this with. And when I met Joe, I was not coming from an entrepreneurial mindset. And yet you hear the way that both, you know, he hasn't even mentioned Joe's mom, Bonnie, who
Rest in peace.
rest in peace, lived on this block, Browning.
This street.
We
Wow.
We bought her a house here.
We took the proceeds from the house that she was in. We bought a duplex here on this block on Browning, and she spent the rest of her life essentially living on this block and then passed. But she was an evangelist, and she was also an entrepreneur. And so Joe really has that intersection of that faithful spirituality with that like diehard entrepreneurialism. And his mom was always making a way, you know? And so when I met him, he had been homeless, you know, he had had all these different career paths. He had also done his own thing. So he had this different mindset, you know, that was very much like growing up in the neighborhood of like, just like, I have nothing to lose, you know, why not try? Why not go for it? Which
Yeah.
is the different mentality of like the American dream, right? The American dream is like, get the education, get the good city job or the corporate job, and then just sit there for your whole life, collect a pension. He was like, I'm not about that. I'm about like hustling. So he, in 1999, after us just being together 2 years, was like, let's get into real estate. And I was
Craziness.
like, hell no. I was like, I don't know nothing about it. You're talking about investing in something. I don't understand how it works. Like, we don't have extra money, like the whole thing.
We should have done more. Go.
Yeah, but he was like, let's do it. Like, I'm telling you, this is the path. So we went to my grandmother, and this goes into generational wealth, right? My grandmother has a property that she inherited from my great-grandparents.
Gangsta grandma.
What?
Shout out to Melinda Hurst, who's still alive at 98 years old.
Oh, shout out to her. God bless her.
But she gave us the $5,000 down payment.
4,500.
No.
It's 4,500.
It doesn't matter, but that's beautiful.
It does matter.
Yeah, Joe, for those listening in, if you didn't know, and I don't even know if I knew this about Joe, but he seems to be very much a stickler on the details.
On the details.
That's beautiful, though.
She gave us the down payment
Wow.
both for our home that we own right now, but for our first investment property. And so
Right.
she gave us a $5,000 down that we went and we bought a house in Palmdale that was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home that we bought.
Investment?
Investment.
Investment. It was
Before we
crazy.
owned-
Before we owned the
our own
house.
home,
Amazing.
we bought our first home for
Wonder where I got that from.
Wait, for $72,000.
What?
Okay, and we were leasing it or renting it for $1,500.
Okay.
And we
Oh.
were clearing $500
Easily.
net
Yeah.
a month on it. Okay, so this was like
You didn't understand. Net.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
after
you were
everything.
good.
So-
Cleaning up.
so
That's
this was
crazy.
You were
like-
good. So you were paying like 700 monthly?
Yeah. So this
600.
was like revolutionary, right? So
Yeah.
once we had that figured out, we were like, oh, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So we just did like a lot of people did at the time. You know, we just got another and got another and got another.
Before we even closed the escrow on that, we got a second.
Yeah. So we end up having this whole portfolio
crazy.
on paper for a long time of having all these different properties that we owned and building.
You don't need to give the numbers to people.
Building a multi-million-dollar real estate business.
Wow.
But when the real estate market went up, we went up, and when the real estate market went down,
Of course.
We didn't know what to do. We got nervous.
Well, we didn't have what we know now. Is
Right.
you need a team of people that know more than you.
Right.
Okay,
Definitely.
so this time around, we have
Well,
20
we're-
years worth of experience, and we understand what we didn't learn before, which is you need to have advisors and mentors and connections.
And pay for them.
You know, pay for them, and then have this support network that will tell you, give you the heads up. Hey, the market is changing. Or
You're gonna lose. You're gonna get less money, but in the long run, it's gonna work out for you because it builds more of a foundation. The more people you have. Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're good.
Monica, you gotta tell us.
You gotta.
You gotta tell them.
Monica's like, this is good. This is good. Keep going. If you guys are tuning in, just so you know, it's hard for us to tell short stories. You know, we lived
Sorry,
a big
guys.
life, so you're not going to get all of the stories.
But it's
Yeah.
good stuff.
Well, this
so
is a
keep going.
podcast. Ain't no time for
Yeah.
short
Right.
stories in a podcast.
Yeah,
Right,
but
right.
Short stories
let
are
me tell
boring.
the story. This is getting to the genesis of South LA Cafe, but what I'm trying to say is
got like
because
45
sometimes,
minutes left.
thank you. Sometimes people think, you know, we're an overnight success, and what I'm trying to get people to more understand is
Understand.
our background. That this is a 2-decade plus journey.
Yeah.
Of entrepreneurship, of social enterprise, of spirituality, of community
Failures.
organizing.
People
of
need to know that.
failure and success, and then we put everything that we learned into this project,
Yeah.
and it hit. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes, like I think Oprah says, when you have opportunity and preparation is when you have
Absolutely.
that
Right.
success. And so I don't want people to just look at us and be like, wow, they've only been around for 2 years and like they're blowing up. It's like no,
Years
no.
of
There's
training.
been like all this work and failure. And the punchline to the real estate story is we rode the wave up, but because we didn't have the mentorship and the foresight, we literally were mom and popping it.
Right.
That when it crashed, we just nosedived, right? So
Right.
we ended up foreclosing on most of our properties. We ended up filing for bankruptcy. Like it was literally a turning point in our lives. And there's a lot
We
more
felt-
twists and turns to say because we have so many stories to tell. But mainly to just say that was a turning point that shifted me to leave my city job to become a full-time coach.
This is entirely new to us.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Us
Wow.
and the listeners.
Yeah,
And the
to
whole South
everybody.
LA community.
They're all going, what?
What is happening?
That's what we doing here.
All right, keep
Depends what
going.
rabbit hole you want to go down here.
We
Right.
want to
Yeah,
go
you
down
wanna
the
go
rabbit
down.
hole.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Well, are you?
I need another ice.
It's valuable information Because
with
that's
some tequila in
I'm
it.
glad that you guys are telling. I'm not saying I'm glad because the story, you got to go in your ups and downs to get to from point A to B. But it's beautiful for people to listen to how that works, because people think, like you said, that it's just they're doing it, so I can do it. Yeah,
Right.
you can do it. That's true.
Right.
But you got to go through the hurdles,
Yes.
ups and downs,
Yes.
failures that are
Yeah.
part of the success
Yeah.
that come before the success.
Yeah.
So like that's what people need to. And I'm glad that you guys
Yeah.
are letting us know that
And-
story.
and, you
Well,
know,
that's a good piece.
Part of what you're saying too, which is relatable to what he's saying. I read this book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell.
I love Malcolm.
Yeah,
Gladwell.
and I think you fit that story. Like, you are outliers, and what people see is only the top of the iceberg.
Right.
But they don't see this
All this-
myriad of experiences and history.
And,
You know,
yeah,
where
that got us
you've
to
been
this
building
point.
this whole time.
And people
Yeah.
were going like,
Okay.
how are they pivoting? How are you
Right.
why'd you think of that? How'd you think of that? Well, we have a whole bunch of
you've been in
stuff
Browning for a long time.
In our golf, I call it my golf bag. I got a ton of stuff back there that I can pull out
Experience.
at.
Yeah.
So,
That's that
Well,
experience.
and so at the time when the real estate market crashed, we didn't get into the fact that Joe became a firefighter, but I'm fast forwarding through that story as well. But as he became a firefighter, he also faced racial discrimination and harassment on the job. And
Immediately.
he was hated.
After my wife comes up to the station, I was cool. Like through the academy, at my station, cool. One day, my beautiful wife decided to come up to the station, and I get from one of the firefighters, a white firefighter, I know your wife was white. And he said it in a way that it really didn't, resonate with me. I really didn't it was like, yeah, she is. But from that point on, the way I was treated was night and day. It was night and day. And I was just like,
Positively or negatively?
Negatively.
Okay, yeah. They were hating.
I was one of the boys.
Right.
Originally, it was, because I came on the job older. I had a life, drove a nice car, all that good stuff. And after that, my nice car became a problem. Everything became an issue.
That's messed up.
And the hazing started, and I ended up getting injured during it, and I fought for years to come back.
Hold on. On one particular day, they took him to a rooftop in 100-degree weather and had him do drills for hours on end with full equipment over and over and over again outside of protocol until his clavicle separated from his chest and had an immediate career-ending injury. Okay.
That's what they told me on the
So-
spot. I fought it, of course, knowing who I am. So I did for 5-6 years, stayed at it. Physical therapy, surgery.
Trying to get back in. But the point is that injury at that moment that was also on the heels of all this,
Yeah.
Other stuff.
unfair treatment that he was getting and comments he was getting and things that were happening to him, we ended up having to then go fight the system and
Another 4
and
years.
work with the Johnny Cochran firm to basically say this was racial harassment.
You can't make this
and
stuff up. I had the Cochran firm
Albie's eyes are like,
I know.
defending me.
He's like, so this is a
It's
5-hour
crazy.
podcast.
They're not
Um,
defending me,
That's
but lawsuit.
crazy.
But at this time was also when the market crashed.
Yeah.
Right.
We lost our houses. So
Right.
Joe's
Like
losing-
08?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm turning 30, okay? So I'm like 30 years old and literally the worst time of my life. Like Joe has lost his job. We now have
Well, I
to
didn't lose a job. Oh, thank you.
Oh,
I wasn't.
Uh-oh.
another
Are we
one.
going? Are we going? All right. Thank you.
Shout out to
Monica.
Monica.
All right,
Monica
I
got
guess
the drink.
Cheers.
No, no la damos.
Cheers.
All right.
Oh.
Le video
Don't
aquí.
judge us. Don't judge us.
O tú lo quieres
Judge.
completo.
Do you have
Huh?
enough?
Where is it?
No, no, ya, puede
Okay.
ser.
Uno más.
Ah, tú quieres, tú
Uno
quieres.
más. All right. He's got more. We got more. We have more.
Yo no quería, pero
Woo.
como fue, Mónica.
If you're just
Está
listening
ready.
and not watching the video, this is the break where we all get a refreshed margarita.
Yes. Don't forget where you
Salud.
are.
If you have
Don't
some
forget where
drinks
you
at
are in
home,
the store because we
Yes,
only got
join- drinks at home.
we only got 40 minutes left.
I know exactly where I am in this story.
Okay, let's go back to it.
So the point is, this is a big pivot point for us.
Yeah.
Because Joe, who was raised with religion, he was a youth minister, like pastor, right, for his community in South Central, and out of his garage. And his
Right.
mom was an evangelist, literally
I used
picking
to
up
wear
all
the
the
big
kids.
red robe, and I used to have sermon in my garage.
Okay.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
With the kids.
Yes.
With my Bible. It was crazy, man.
But in
It's
my
crazy.
household, the religion was politics, right?
Uh-huh.
The religion
Yeah.
was the resistance.
The people.
And my parents were like Marxist Leninists, right? So it was not about religion. Okay, it was about socialism,
Yeah.
communism, Black Panther Party, like, you know, liberation for like anti-imperialism. Like this
Right.
is my upbringing.
Yeah.
And so there was literally no religion, right?
noticed there's no cap on my
I was
cup.
raised as an atheist. And so what happened with Joe and literally my biggest fear when he came to me and said, let's
Joe.
invest in
Thank you.
real estate, I was coming from a very risk adverse
Right.
She's
of course.
scared.
mentality.
She's scared.
And so when the whole thing fell apart
Yeah.
and my biggest fears were realized, and on top of that, my optimistic, believe anything is possible guy was literally broken by the man. And I could not
For a minute.
Well, for a while. And I could not turn to him to help, like, to make me think it was going to be okay. And I couldn't turn to my parents and my family because I had not told them everything that was going on. I was like, you know
Wasn't
what?
really much to tell, but yes, go ahead.
You
It
are
seems like there was a lot
Go.
to
There
tell.
was a lot to tell.
There was a lot.
I mean, but what are they gonna do?
Wait a second. I
What
wrote a book
Right.
about what there was to tell. So,
So
she told it all.
If I told my mom that stuff, yeah, it would be a
Yeah.
long conversation.
It'll be pretty long. Yeah.
Right. There was
We-
there was actually a lot to tell, and the point was, I personally, for me, I didn't have anybody to go to, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so I was like, you know what? I grew up in the Black community, and in the Black community, all my friends were like very religious, right? And they had this thing called faith,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I don't even know what that is, but I know that my friends,
I
when
didn't know what it was at the time.
that's
you
what
know
I'm
what
trying
it-
to
you
say.
said I didn't know what it
Wait,
is.
Don't get my punchline.
Got you.
That I wanted some of that.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I understand that it's something that gets you through, you know, that helps you even when there's nothing else, there's something that gets you through. I was like, I want that, but I understood enough to know you don't just like get it, you know, just,
Yeah.
can I get some faith, please? So
I was proud of you during that time, really.
thanks, babe.
No, seriously, go.
And so I went on my own personal spiritual journey to find faith, right? And so it took like 6 months. I was like, I'm going to study
That's
all
pretty quick.
I
well,
know.
but I told you, remember what I told you?
Amen.
Remember what she said?
already
She
got
dives deep.
I
She
dive
dives
deep. I dive deep.
All the books in the world, just
All
like
the practices.
all the practices.
I was like, I'm studying metaphysics. I'm
Everything.
studying Buddhism, Christianity. You know, my people come from Judaism, so I was like Judaism, like all
Some
of it.
people take
Yes.
15 years to find real faith, like
Yes,
to
but
get it.
it's the thing. If you have faith, if you've experienced it, you know that it's something that is so powerful, and when it exists, there's no questioning
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
and
it can happen in a day.
Right,
If you've never had it before, you don't know. But then when you have it, you're like, oh, now I know. So
you
literally
feel
for
it.
me, all of my practices and my journeying, like God, spirit, universe, whatever you want to say, was like, no, you're doing it, and I'm gonna show you. So one day, it was like it's on, and I was like, I get it. And now I'm dialed in, and now I have the faith, and now I don't worry, and now I don't judge myself because I know I'm worthy, I'm whole, I'm complete. We all
Amen.
are. I'm a divine being, all of that. And literally, that's when I was like, I'm leaving my job because
And I went, oh, okay.
because I was up in Rouse.
That's faith right there.
We thought about it. We
I
thought
was up in Rouse preaching the word, right? Not about God, but about like, Albie, do you know that you have a purpose for your life? Do you know that it doesn't matter what you've been
Wait,
through?
you
That's
were-
a-
you
that
were-
was a
you were in
change.
Rouse?
It
I
was
was
change.
everywhere.
She
I
was
was
just saying
Rouse,
she was in the line and she was
CVS.
telling everybody.
I was like, wherever I went, I was telling them about this experience, but
Okay.
also like an evangelist, right? Like about the lessons that I had learned along the way that I felt were these universal lessons. So I was like, I realized people get
Pastor Celia.
I realized people get paid to be motivational, inspirational,
Okay.
coaches,
Right.
speakers, all of that. So I literally left my job.
Man, my influence, because here comes the entrepreneur part.
He wants the credit.
I absolutely do. I absolutely do.
Hey.
I absolutely
He
do.
woke back up.
Yes, I did.
He finally woke back up and said, "Oh, I recognize that.
Yes,
I think that I
remember.
planted
Ooh.
that seed. Now that you're becoming the teacher, and I'm becoming the student, let's not forget that at first I was the teacher and you were the student, which is true. Which is true. And I tell him every day, he's my biggest inspiration. He is my biggest teacher.
That's beautiful.
You know, sometimes when he doubts that and he thinks
Look at Monica. Look at Monica's touched by the love. Monica's like, I want my inspiration.
It's complex, though. It's a real relationship because some days he'll think that I'm not seeing him or I'm not valuing him or that I'm undermining him, and I have to remind him. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, everything I do is because of you. Everything I do is, and so all of that gets to, and I've been talking this whole time, so I guess I'm making up for the time.
You good.
But all of that gets to the cafe, which was, we had gone through all these bumps and bruises. We knew that we were transitioning to something next. I had done a full-time 10 years of building my own coaching, consulting, speaking, writing business and become very successful in my own right.
Paid.
And Joe was like, I'll stay with my settlement because of the lawsuit with the city. He had a settlement where he was having to work a desk job for the LAFD. He got paid, but he still had a job. So he was like,
sorry to say,
Can we
folks,
talk about this? I don't want to get you in trouble because
No,
I know
we can talk
settlements
about
and
it.
stuff.
We can
It's
talk
settled.
about it.
That's the
It's
thing.
It's already
Okay.
Yeah, there was no hush on it. And for
But we made a deal that you would stay at the
stay
job.
with the job, and I was double dipping. You know,
Don't say that part.
Yeah.
no, it's legal. Fire and police could do it, so it was nice. They're gonna get me in trouble.
What do you mean by that?
I had
was
pension. I had taken my pension.
Oh, yeah, that sounds
And-
different than what you meant.
Yeah, that's
He
called.
as part of his settlement, we got a cash payout.
What's
They-
in this?
Just listen. We had a cash payout.
We're not going to say it because they need to pay us. They need to
We had-
sponsor
Yeah,
South
before
LA
you-
Cafe.
Yeah, before you state their name.
Pasando
Yeah,
DTLA.
It's called Don Julio. What's wrong with
They
that?
gotta
Should
pay
we-
us first.
Nothing. Yeah, they're not going to pay now.
It's all good. They will
gonna pay
pay.
now, you just
Everybody
gave it
will
up.
pay. Everybody will pay.
All right,
We can
all right.
backtrack. We can back invoice.
So let's fast forward Celia and Joe. The shop is opening. What's
Yes.
going on?
Wait, before you do that,
Okay.
because I did just talk a long time, but I just want to say, Joe held down the city job while I
Right.
built my own business.
Hated it.
And the deal was he was going to do 10 years to the day and retire because that was the minimum
you could do.
for a minimum pension. So that day, that 10 years came October 2019, and we opened South LA Cafe November.
2019?
Yes.
We opened South
Whoa!
LA Cafe November 2019.
Shout
Okay?
out to y'all.
So
Not playing.
the plan was to open the cafe because we live in the community and gentrification was going rampant, commercial development was going rampant.
Yep.
Still
and
is.
It is more than ever. And we were like, this community is not going to look like it does in a few years, and we're going to be so sad that we didn't get in it and try and fight for
Right.
saving the culture. And so we were like, what's going to bring people to something every single day that where we can create a community and build something around the Black and brown local residents? And
And
we're
we
like,
thought-
we thought coffee.
Right.
you
And we had
know?
been thinking about coffee for a while. That's where I came in with I was going to, right on our block, open up a little 600 square foot place.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've talked about this before. And it's just, I just wanted it as a kick it spot for me and boys. It was going to have big screens everywhere on this little small place. And I was going to have, believe it or not, pour coffee. This is my idea of a coffee shop. Poured coffee. And
some Costco muffins.
Costco muffins.
And that one was going to be called Man Cave. Man Cave Cafe. Man Cave Cafe.
Love it.
and it'd just be a small little place for us to gather. And that's what I thought. And so time went by.
Every man's dream.
Exactly. And then I'm driving down the Western, which I normally don't do, coming from because I was working at Dodger Stadium at Frank Hotchkiss. I would get on the freeway and get off right at King and never come
Right.
this far over.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the traffic, I got off the freeway, I missed the turn or whatever, and I ended up coming down Western. And I hadn't been on this block in a while because my mom had recently moved away out to the valley for the last 2 years of her life. To my sister, so I could share her. Rest in peace, Bonnie Burnett. And I saw this spot again, and I said, damn, that's a piece of crap. But I can do something. And I was thinking it was just this spot, one little 1,000-foot square. And I said, that'd be good for the coffee shop.
The man cave.
The Man
Cave
Cave.
Cafe.
And then I went home and talked about it and started the process.
And all that to say, fast forward, when he showed it to me, I was like, this is not Man Cave Cafe.
Oh, no.
This is community center, cultural
Right,
center.
because we saw how big it was.
Co-working space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was. It wasn't
it's
just
the-
this
it's the
1,000.
everything. This is where the community organizing piece comes in. I'm
Yeah.
like, no.
Yeah.
This is meant to be
For the people.
For the people.
I love
And I was all in it because we had it was going to be a coffee shop, and of course it'd be for the community, and of course we do it before, and I hate to say this, before they did, whoever they are. You know what I mean? I wanted to be
gentrifiers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gentrifiers.
Let's call it what
Yeah,
it
it
is.
was bound
Call
to
it what
happen.
it
It
is.
don't matter how they look, gentrifiers.
Exactly.
There's a bunch of them.
And-
So your question though, do you remember what your question was? I always look
After
at
all
me
this.
like, don't ask me that.
My
But-
initial question?
Yeah.
No, where are we at now?
Is
I
what you
think where
asked.
we are now, it's how you're propelling the business
Yes.
moving forward. It's been a year at
It's
this
been
point.
a year.
Right.
We opened soft opening November 2019, officially
Right.
open
December
December 2019.
Right.
So
actually.
we're like almost a year and a half in.
Yeah.
Almost a year and 2 months of that has been during COVID-19.
Yeah. That's
Hard to believe.
incredible.
Hard to believe.
So for the OGs who were originally here when we were open, if you're somebody who actually was in the cafe when we're open, I'd love to hear that. But
Definitely.
people actually remember when we had all the seating in the cafe,
Right.
and we had 17 events here in 4 months when we were open. So
That's
it was-
insane.
we had open mic night, we had game night, we had Kobe Bryant tribute day, we
That's
had
right.
mental health
Remember Kobe?
panels,
That's right, yeah.
we had like everything.
We had
And
real
now
estate-
we've
we had
been
a
open a
real-
year and a
we had
half.
So
we
I
had a
have- I
real
have-
estate
I have
training class.
I have more questions about like the beginnings of it, right? So then you find the place, you had the first idea, and then she shaped it, y'all shaped it together, and then it became that. So like making it happen, how was that process? Like starting to make it
Very
happen.
hard.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
So we consider ourselves, even with all the stuff that we went through, we consider ourselves pretty privileged. We're both college graduates. We both had pretty good jobs at, making decent money. Homeowners plus property owners.
Right.
Be outside of that. So we feel that we're pretty, especially in this community, we're pretty privileged, right? It was tough as hell. It was tough.
That's what I want to know, because I
Oh
know
my God, and if it was tough for us, can you imagine?
I can't.
You know what I mean? For other people, I don't know how they.
Well,
how
and we have people come and meet with us. In particular, me, I spend a lot of time talking with people who want to open up coffee shops.
They
And
think
we
it's
are
easy.
going to end up writing a book, just so
Right.
everybody stay tuned.
Good.
Yes.
We're going to put together a little ebook, but then eventually a real book, or not that an ebook's not a real book, but you know what I mean, a hard copy book about this, because a lot of people are inspired by what we do, and of course people want to open up coffee shops, and we should have them. But the reality is that there's so much that you need to know, so that you don't get into a situation that doesn't work for you.
Right.
And luckily, like we said, when we did the real estate, we still do real estate now. We're actually looking into
touching it.
buying a spot right now as the next South.
Shout
Oak
out to
Cafe.
Monica Ramos.
So we very much believe in real estate as a tool to build, generational wealth.
Right.
But when we first got this place, thank God we had some mentors that were helping us from the beginning, that were telling us how much we should pay. And then Joe, because of his real estate, he's great at negotiating. So he had negotiated like a fierce lease for us, where he asked
for everything.
everything he could think of.
because I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
So I asked for the absolute zeros and absolutely maximum amount of no rent, all that. I asked for it all.
Yeah.
And of course I didn't get everything, but it ended up being a very nice deal. And
What
we
is-
forgot
what-
to mention that you wanted to know what this process was. Well, in the middle of this process,
We didn't have any more money.
we ran out of money.
Yeah.
And also, remember the market story? That was in the middle of all this. While we're building this place,
Right.
The cafe.
the cafe, we opened up a market,
Yeah.
which we had no business plan for. No, I don't suggest this for anybody.
Like a mini market?
Yeah.
Mini markets right there.
I'm trying to do that. I need to talk to you about that.
Okay.
That's one of my
Okay.
dreams. I want to do that for
All right,
real.
so let's
Okay.
talk about
For
it.
real.
Let's talk
because
about it.
I need to
we-
learn
we-
about that.
We
You
might
may
be
have
able to
one next
collaborate.
month.
Yeah.
Definitely,
We
definitely.
got
Get
you.
a bigger
We got
space.
you.
We got
We'll
it.
talk about that. We
We're
got the
actually
big
outgrowing our
benchmark.
space.
You got a market right there.
We're actually outgrowing our space, which is
Yeah,
a good
we've
thing.
outgrown it.
Oh,
Yes.
it says
Yes.
South LA, the
Yeah.
logo.
South LA
Yeah.
market.
Every time I look at it, I'm like, this is the same logo. It got to be the same people. Like,
And the
Yes.
giveaways
Dope.
And
are
by the way,
born
Edwin
out of the
is
market.
Out of the
there.
market.
Edwin is on YouTube too. Thank you. Shout out to Edwin.
Shout out
Shout out to Edwin.
Yes,
Thank you,
with
Edwin.
Edwin is one of our #1 volunteers. He
He's
puts in hours with us
amazing.
every
shout out
This
to
guy
Edwin.
is
He said,
insane.
"Remember when you had the conference room?
came for the NANDC meeting. Yes, that might not be the same Edwin. That's a different Edwin. But yes, I do.
But shout out to him
But
too.
shout out
Shout
to
out
him
to
too.
Edwin. Absolutely.
So yeah, that happened.
Where are we?
We're at the market. How that happened? How it
You
pivoted-
had
how it pivoted
some
into
financial trouble, and then you ended up getting the other
Yes.
spot, the
Yes.
market. And
On the
then-
financial trouble, just to say on that front. So what we did is we turned to crowdfunding, right? And so we were able to raise over $45,000 from the community. Now, granted,
unbelievable.
This is
Some
like
of that was
last
matched.
exactly last year, right? Like
Yes.
April, May.
2
No.
years ago.
2 years
so
ago.
as
Oh,
we,
it's
as
before
we
we
were
were
under
opening.
construction,
I see.
construction and we were in the midst of it, we realized our nest egg that we thought we had in savings was
Had
actually
been-
not enough, which is a piece of advice that I give to a lot of people who are coming to me. They're like, "Oh, I have 30,000." I'm like, "I hate to be the one to tell you that's not enough. You know, I'm so sorry. That is a lot of money, but it's not enough for what you're trying to do." And so similarly, we thought we had a lot of money.
We
and then
calculated.
and
We
then-
had our business plan. We thought we were on it.
yeah, and then we get into it and we're like, we don't have enough of our own money.
But then we
So-
depended on a loan that was already approved. And here's where the ticker comes in. You have to have occupancy in order for the loan to get funded.
occupancy as like
You have to
gotta
get
have the
tenants.
You
place.
have to
You have
pass all
to
your
have
permits.
you have to
No,
say.
you have to pass all your
Oh,
permits.
you have to pass the
Oh,
You
permit.
have to get
Got it.
occupancy from the county.
You have to have completed all your construction and gotten your certificate.
And
of
how you gonna do that if you don't have the rest of the money that we needed to
Right.
finish? So that's when the crowdfunding came in.
Yes. So all of that to say, we've been through it all. This was very challenging for us. The good news is we had what I call is we were working on fumes of faith. So
Right.
for the whole literal year that we were working on building this place, we were building our following on Instagram, right? We were showing people. If you go back to our first post, you will literally
You'll see every
the
step. You'll see me
entire-
getting out of trash cans
Yeah, you'll literally
for
see the
parts that I didn't want to
step-by-step
pay for.
process. And
Again.
part of our strategy was because I knew from my background in doing the business development piece that I did in my own coaching business about marketing, right? So I was like, we need to take people through this journey with us. And if we're going to get the buy-in from the community, they have to know who we are, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't care if Joe's in the trash can or he's out on
Let's clear
Yeah.
the trash can thing up. Because that started to sound bad. The more I hear it myself.
Yeah, it doesn't
The
sound too
reason
good,
I
Joe.
jumped in the
'Cause Joe
trash
was in
can.
the
The reason I jumped in the trash can is because we were putting together tables and we were doing a lot of the work ourselves, and there were screws in a box that unbeknownst to me, I go to recycle, and I hear ding 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 ding, and I go, oh no, because we hadn't finished the stuff, and I said those are the parts.
Yes.
Luckily, it was the recycling bin.
So
and not the
you went
trash
all up in
can.
there.
So you
So
didn't
I
have to
jumped
get your
in.
hands dirty.
So there's a
No, it was
that-
partially dirty.
So clear
Oh,
that up.
recycling bin, just to
Yeah, thank you.
clarify.
But it's right next to a laundromat, so
Yes, that's true. It was
Yeah.
very clean. but the punchline was, it was way harder than we thought it was.
Right.
And simultaneously, 6 months into the process, another vacancy comes open in our mall that was previously a market. And
The,
Joe
Wick
and
store.
Joe comes to me and he's like, "Look, I know that this might be crazy, but I
Now,
know-
grant you, we're not finished with this.
yeah,
I
no,
understand
we're
that.
not finished with the cafe, but he says, you know, this space, it has a walk-in refrigerator, it has a wall refrigerator, and, you know, we're committed to fighting, you know, food deserts and food insecurity.
I said, since you want to be all about the community,
How about we double down on another piece? You know, another
Nice.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we gotta let the people know because they were
Yes.
talking about, they got the fundraise from the community, but let me tell you that I'm sure, and we're going to get to that later, they have given away more than what they got for sure. Like, we'll get to that.
That number compared to...
Well,
Thank you, Lord.
As of today, just want to say 45,000 people fed. So, yes.
Ooh, so
That's
that's way
amazing.
more than the 45.
Yeah, way more.
Way more.
Way
That's
beyond.
absolutely.
Way beyond.
But the point is, all of that and more, depending on who wants to listen and what story you want to hear, we can go down the rabbit hole with that. But there are bumps and bruises along the way. You know, we are not saying that people should not take this path, because we need more, as we our trademark community cafes. You know, we need more community-based businesses, which we have a model and a framework that we teach to. We need more people that are from the neighborhood to figure out how to double down on putting in roots and holding on to the culture, but also creating the culture, right?
Yeah.
We need that now more than ever.
And do it from here.
Gotta do it from the heart.
But we have to find ways to make it possible for people to do that, you know, which is part of what we're fighting for too, with our foundation and creating opportunities for workforce.
We're going to be the new tank.
The new
Come to
Shark
us.
Tank,
Don't
yes.
call it Shark. We're going to be the new tank.
Yes.
South Central tank.
The South Central
Right.
Tank.
I like
There you
that.
go.
I like
I'm
that.
not playing.
Drop the mic on that
Right.
one. Boom.
So he asked about like how we got to the grocery giveaway.
Yeah, I
Did
think.
he? I didn't hear
Yeah.
that part yet.
Well, I think we got there, but I think to end, we want to hear what are the
night's
next.
ending?
No, we might have two more.
We
This
might
is-
have two more. Go.
Oh.
Go. This ain't the last question.
No, what you're saying, you're right.
We've been here for like 3 hours. I just want to
right.
be. I
You're
want to be
right.
a
No,
good
you're
guest.
right.
I just
Make
wanna
that clear.
Say, I
No,
just
you're
wanna
good.
Say, I don't know
You're
about
right.
the listeners, but I really love long form podcasts, and Joe and I are starting one, so it's gonna be in the mix with Celia and Joe
So we're
Wallace.
gonna do a
There you
spin. We're gonna do
go.
a spin
That's
off
coming
from
up.
this.
No wonder it's so natural.
We already got Patrice Cullors, co-founder
There
of
you
Black
go.
Lives Matter, as one of our first guests. So that'll be coming out this summer. But part of why we created that is because we like having these
God, you see
conversations.
the little plug?
And stay tuned. But personally, for me, I love podcasts, and I love sometimes when you're just having that super amazing conversation, you're just like, I don't care how long it is. Like, I just wanna
Right.
hear it. So don't
We're
cut
having
me
a-
off, LB.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. As a
He was being
we got a little
respectful.
turn.
He was
We
being
got-
as
respectful.
a guest, you gotta be respectful. You know,
Yeah.
we're in the.
What we did,
We're already here drinking margaritas.
what we do need to do, right, is focus on a few, like direct on the key points that we have here, because we don't want to let anything out.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I mean, and we definitely want to let something out because it's 5 hours of podcast.
Do it,
They said it.
Tostones. Do it.
But
Oh, here come a question that we weren't prepared for. Go.
so there's two. You tell me which one you prefer to answer right now. It's like, what dreams do you have for the future of this brand, and as a business that inaugurated right before the pandemic? This is a good question. Shout out to Padrino. How were you able to survive? I like that one, but you decide which one. You can do
He's like,
two. You can do a
We can do a
little
combination of both.
A combination of both.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think they're related.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
exactly.
with the survival, and the survival. I'm gonna tell you. We said earlier, you got to do things that come from your heart. We actually, this community is our home. This is everything that we do here is really for this community. It's not cliche. It's not just saying that. It really is.
Well, we've seen it.
We're
We've seen
raising
it.
our kids here, so it's no joke. And we can live anywhere we want to, folks.
There's receipts.
We can live anywhere we want to. Be
There's
honest.
definitely receipts.
But we've chosen this community. This is where we live, and this is what we want. We want to make it great here. So
I thought you were gonna say make it great again.
no, it wasn't. Yeah. That would have been jacked. No. Yeah. Right?
That's done, bro. That's like
I had concerns.
pre-pandemic.
Make South Central great again.
That's craziness. No.
America never
Dang,
gonna be
I'm
great
so
again.
glad we rid of that guy.
Sorry.
So glad. So what really happened during is that we got really blessed with timing.
Yeah.
Because although we were doing all the right things and having all the inviting the community in, all that, pandemic came. And pandemic is no joke.
No joke.
It takes the best. It took the best of people down. There's a lot of companies gone. They're not coming back.
Yep.
Big time.
What happened for us is a dream came to me. We had the market going, and we were already struggling with that market because we had no business plan with it. and we didn't understand vegetables and fresh fruit. We didn't understand all that, and things were going bad. So I was trying to figure out ways of making hot sales, or I did the $10 bag. Remember before? So the week when they said they were going to close up cafes, I was going, oh shit. You know what I mean? Can I say shit?
Yeah, you
okay.
good.
I said, oh shit. Like, here we go again. Like this is tough. This is going to be tough. So we were planning. We were trying to hurry up and put our internets together, our online shopping, all that stuff. We were just scrambling to do it. And the next day I woke up and I told her I had a dream about a grocery box. This brilliant woman put together an amazing choice of fresh vegetables for people the essentials that would hold you for at least 4 or 5 days, a family of 4.
Yeah.
I said, this is great. Now, again, not a business plan. We said $35. And then when we were putting it online, we said to ourselves, well, let's make it that, since it's a pandemic, that people can buy for people. They can sponsor a box,
right,
or they can buy it for themselves and pick it up here. They don't have to go to the market. So brilliant, right? Great. So we were going to advertise that with how many followers did we have at that time? 6,000, 5,000. We were going to advertise it with them, and everybody was going to buy one. That was the dream, right? So we take off that weekend, Sunday. You put all this stuff, brilliant tech stuff together. I appreciate you. We take off Sunday, 4:30 in the morning. I wake up, my pager is going dink, dink, dink. I'm thinking Sprint's tripping again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, they tripping. They ain't paying us, so they tripping. When they pay us, we gonna say they nice.
Phone company's tripping again. So I turned it off and went back to sleep. I woke up again at 6:30. This woman, I say 6:30 like that because it's Sunday. I don't see her till 12 noon on a Sunday. She's chilling on Sundays.
Yeah.
And she's up in the bed on her computer. And I said, babe, turn it off because I hear ding, ding, ding again. Because the phones are tripping. Just turn it off. Let's go back to bed. She turns it around. Folks, we're on the cover of LA Times. Sunday paper.
That's right.
She was working that marketing.
Cha-ching.
Crazy.
It takes till 3 a.m.
So talk about timing.
That's right.
That we had our infrastructure in. People were literally ordering those boxes. So now here's my next dilemma that next week when we came back to work. Now I get all these orders. 70% of them are sponsored. You say, where'd the line come from? I was the line. I was taking it around in a rented U-Haul, all these boxes that I was putting together and giving them away to people in the neighborhood, just randomly, knocking on doors. Here it is. I actually walk into one of my customers' house, knocked on the door, and he goes, this is brilliant. You're advertising South LA Cafe, and you're bringing me a free box. I'll never forget you. That's brilliant. I wasn't even thinking. I was trying to get rid of this box that somebody bought. It was tiring. It was renting a lot of U-Hauls, so we didn't have a truck. It was crazy. Flash forward to, I said, let them come to us. And that's how we started the line. We said we're going to do 100.
Well, and we got sponsorship for the first month. So we decided we were going to do our own food distribution. And that came from a partnership for the first month with Cedar Sinai, where they committed $5,000 a week, a total of $20,000 to feed 600 families. Right, that was our pitch to them. They gave us the funds to do it with an intermediary, which was the Emmanuel Presbyterian Church, and for that first month, that was our pilot.
We had no idea what we were doing.
We had no idea what we were doing, but we're like, we know we got this box, we know how to make the box or the bag, and we know that we can get people here, and we're gonna create this experience, and we're gonna make it amazing, because Joe himself had grown up in the food lines, and he didn't want it to be this shameful.
We're going to have nice music. We're going to go down and introduce ourselves to the people in the line. We're going to make them feel welcome. I said, if we're going to do this, we're going to make it right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People are going to feel good about coming here.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And they're not going to eat garbage.
And so that started the first 4 weeks. But then guess what? After 4 weeks, Cedar Sinai and our partner were like, thank you, but
Thank
see
you.
you
Have a nice
later.
life.
And we're like, you know what? These people are still playing.
But God bless them. They give a lot of money.
They give a lot of
Amen.
money,
And they
and we
planted
did.
the
Yeah,
seed.
Yeah,
we planted the seed.
absolutely.
So
But
thank you.
Here we are now. Flash forward. We just wrapped today our 46th consecutive
Wow.
week of doing the grocery giveaway, and feeding over 45,000.
Probably more than that, but whatever
No,
you're.
I did the math.
Okay.
She did the math.
45,000.
She got the math on lock.
People
Yes.
from our community, and we now have made it where it's a movement, right? And so what we tell people is sponsor a box. $35 covers all the costs that are involved in putting that box together, whether it's our employees, whether it's our rent, whatever it is, and all the ingredients. When you put that money in, you're giving people jobs, you're putting food into the community, you're feeding
You're keeping
people.
this
You're keeping this
ecosystem
operation
going.
And so here we are 46 weeks later, and large donors, small donors, we're always hustling, to make it happen. Of
course.
And whatever we don't make happen to cover the costs, we pay for ourselves out of the business. But here we are, the whole.
I don't want to show the numbers.
What
on
are we
it.
showing?
Don't show that. Don't show that.
The credit
We'll
card.
show the
Joe's
numbers.
showing the credit card.
Credit
He's
card.
busting out the credit card.
Some people
I
are
used
nice
this
with
thing
that. When
today.
the picture will be like,
Oh yeah. Well,
Well, they can't because I got the numbers in the back. Amex.
But all of that to say, we've deepened and clarified our mission and our calling, which is very much around, fighting food insecurity, fighting
Yeah.
for racial, social, economic justice and equity in our community. And the food is one of the ways that we do it. But we also founded our South LA Cafe Foundation. So we have
All
our
that.
own 501c3, which is going to be doing amazing programming
Right.
beginning in 2022. But all of that to answer and the segue into your question about the future, the dreams, the hopes, it's not even about dreams and hopes. It's about literal things that are happening. I mean, we are literally
We're
on
living
track
it.
for at least 5 to 6 locations within brand new.
She say 6 because we're one of them. We're still.
No. 5 or 6 locations within brand new housing developments happening in South LA.
Yeah.
In addition to that, we're negotiating on potential partnerships with some of the local schools, putting cafes into the
She
schools.
putting it out there, giving all the
to
business.
give,
Right.
give employment opportunities
dope.
For-
the teens before they even go to college.
oh,
And then developing them so that they could eventually come here.
And then we're actually working on buying properties ourselves that can, with investors, that can be turned into cafes, markets, community centers, that eventually down the line can potentially become.
Obama. I
what?
killed it. Yes, I did.
they can't see that over there, though.
They can't see it?
They can't see
They're not
it.
going to be able to see
Oh,
that.
okay.
If you're, if
I
you're-
did.
He did work for Orkin.
and if
Yeah.
And if you're tuning in to the podcast only,
I just flicked the
and
fly.
If you're tuning in to the podcast
Right
only,
there.
and you're hearing Joe say Obama, and you don't know what the heck we're talking about here,
You guys remember when Obama flicked that fly? Bam.
We never going to let go of him, though. We never
Man,
going to let
we're
go
not.
of
hold on to Obama. Hold on to Obama.
Sorry, Celia. We
Sorry.
interrupted you.
Well, all that I'm saying is, it's a full circle moment because I feel like we've done all of this journey that we've discussed over the last 20 plus years that have gotten us to this moment that appears to be like we're just landing on the scene, but in reality, this is part of our legacy we've been building for over 2 decades. But now we're locked and loaded.
Yeah.
Right.
We can
and
see.
We're dialed
Yeah.
in. We
Yeah.
got
It's
we
no
got
joke.
the people, we got the know-how, we got the money, we got the connections, and we ain't playing.
That's right.
And so
All we
not-
need is
we're
the help of
ready-
the people, though.
Yeah, but we're ready to buy back the block.
Yeah.
We want the people to be invested in what we're doing and create ownership for our own community. We want to create jobs. We want to create opportunities. We want to
Yep.
create businesses, and we're going to be doing it. And so that's why I'm saying, like, we're actually transitioning into looking at how we can ourselves begin to become owners of more land
Yeah.
and create opportunities for others to become a part of that ecosystem where we're not going to others and saying, can we lease your space? Can we be part of what you're doing? We're saying, we're going to create it ourselves, and we're going to make opportunities for other people to be part of what we're doing.
We're going to change the narrative. And we're not talking about it. This is, I mean, we are talking about it's words right
are
now.
literally talking about
But
it
we
this
are
second.
literally talking about it. But what I mean by, because you know how people always talking.
Yeah.
No,
You're living it.
We're living it in action.
Yeah.
It's like we're not playing, folks. We're
You
not
can see
take the
this
ride
piece right here. This is
Take
what
the
it
ride.
talks to. It already talks by itself. You come here,
Yeah.
you see the work.
The Stones, what I appreciate about this conversation is that, you know, most people, including myself, that I'm here often, these guys have my phone number on speed dial.
And we're hitting you up all the time.
Right.
Padrino.
We don't see what's underneath the years of work and experience that took to build the ship. And now the ship is gone and, you know, thriving.
Take note.
So,
Take note.
dear viewers, please, this is not an exhaustive, you know, explanation of success. But if you want to know, please follow South LA Cafe and everything they're doing. Come by. They will greet you with a lot of love and warmth, and they will be more than happy to talk to you. So
It's right there.
this
It's right there.
is an incredible couple that are doing just really extraordinary things on a day-to-day basis. They gave over 250 boxes of food for free for folks that live in the neighborhood that just walk here
today.
So, you know, if you hear this interview starting from their Insta Live to our podcast, you will hear that on Browning, there was stuff happening here 20 years ago, back when Joe was homeless. And today, there's amazing things that are happening from this by this amazing couple.
I suggest you go follow it right now. Follow them right now. In like 10 minutes, we're about to close this up.
Straight to the point.
Go watch that video. But we cannot get out of here without doing the top fire with them.
We have to do the top fire.
What's the top
And
fire?
explain the top fire. You know you got it.
So top fire is it's a segment where we ask you top 5 things about anything in life.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And at this point in
You better
life,
jump in. You better be
we're
ready.
not very acquainted with your past career, but we are acquainted with this other aspect. So we want to ask you, who are your top 5 basketball coaches of all times?
Oh God.
Oh my God. I mean, automatically.
Well, we're talking about basketball, right?
Basketball.
John Wooden, I'll put that on the map.
Well, you can
That's
start.
first.
You should start. The lady should start, right?
Why not?
Well, that's all I
But
got.
are we tagging on this, or is she?
No. Individual.
She stole
individual
my
top
God.
5.
I don't
Top
have 5.
Fire 10. Top fire 10.
I got. Well, I'm gonna start. John Wooden. Everybody knows that. That goes unsaid. The guy just teaches from the shoelaces up. You know, really, it's
Pat Riley.
amazing.
Okay. so we are doing
Stop.
tag.
Stop
She
right.
got 2. She got
Pat
2.
Riley. Phil Jackson.
Okay.
God, it was
Jehovah
from the
Witch.
Clippers. From the Clippers.
Doc.
Doc Rivers.
Ooh,
Doc Rivers.
Yeah, I'm a Celtic. I
Amazing
love
coach.
Lakers. I'm a Laker now. Y'all know, but I'm a Celtic back then with Rondo and Doc. When Doc was there, I was
Amazing
a Celtic,
coach.
but not
and
anymore.
I actually might have what's his name at
Popovich.
San Antonio. San Antonio.
Coach Popovich.
Yeah, yeah.
I might have Popovich.
Oh, you did say Popovich.
Said it.
Stop.
He's very
I have
political. I like him
Popovich.
a lot.
You're gonna have to find a new 5 because
You're
that
gonna
was
have to
all
say
mine.
5. It looks like you have to
Right.
say
I have to
5.
say 5 because, and I'd put Popovich before Doc. That's my
Okay.
I already said mine.
No,
The
what's yours?
audience heard me. I was talking.
The
to
the,
them.
au-
can't
the
do that.
audience knew that you were the original.
You already got the 5. That was your 5.
Yes.
So who you got first? Number 1.
No, they literally have the same top 5.
But who you got number 1? Number 1.
Number 1 was John Wooden.
John Wooden.
Got
was
it.
number
Okay,
one.
so you
Number
started
1
with
is
your number
John
1.
Wooden,
Got it.
without a doubt.
All right, you ready for mine?
Yes.
Number 5, Bill Russell.
Ooh.
Player coach.
Dang. He went in there.
Player
Went in
coach.
there. Gotta
Player
give it
coach.
to him, guys. It's
I
That's
did
right.
not even think about that.
I wasn't
That's
thinking
right.
about it too. That's
Wow.
woo.
See, you had time to think.
I'm not gonna change it. But
He did have time.
he always had.
That's
He puts the
just-
top fire
that's-
together.
Hey.
That's you.
My top 5 does not fail. Number 4, Doc Rivers. All
Right
right.
there. We're on that. We're on that
All
page.
right. Number 3, I'm going with Pat Riley.
Wow.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
Number 2, I have to go with Pop.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, just like the way he coached
the greatest.
Tony Parker,
Yes.
I love Tony Parker, but Tony Parker needed coaching.
Right.
Like
He was out of control.
He was out of control.
Yeah.
He needed that strong hand.
The way he utilizes his white privilege is what makes me
Pop?
hit him.
Yes.
Pop is the
this
greatest.
Last year, he's been so revolutionary using his platform.
He really has.
yeah, he
like
has.
he's
I'm like,
refreshing.
Thank you, white man. Thank you.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
very
Yes,
refreshing.
Yes.
Number 1, Phil.
Wow.
Zen.
John didn't get in there.
Zen. No, I mean, that's a different generation, man. Come on. Yeah, like, who's John? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
you gotta read his book.
I know
You
who
gotta
he
read his
is. I know
book.
who he is.
He a youngin though. He a youngin.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, your turn.
Okay. I'm a little older than him though, but okay. But he went Bill Russell though. That's way back.
Way
That's way back.
But,
But it's cool.
yeah.
So my
nice,
top
though. I would've
fire. I gotta get this order right. Number 5. I'm gonna start from 5 to 1. Number 5, I think. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Thibodeau for number 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to. He hasn't won yet
Yeah.
because he hasn't had the talent, but I'm gonna go with him because he's pushed down teams that had nothing.
I got a little,
He nothing.
I got a little
that's
beef.
for me. I like Thibodeau.
I got a little
I like
beef.
Thibodeau.
Y'all coming up with some good shit.
I love Thibodeau. I says, man, he's done so many great
he's
things.
done-
I'm
Yeah.
like with nothing.
Yeah.
Like so, yeah. I'm gonna go with him. Number 4, I'm gonna go with Doc
Yeah.
because I used to be a Celtic when he was there. I was in love with that team. That team, I was.
Great team.
You know what I mean? And I know y'all hate because Kobe they beat us.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I know we hate over here, but that team you gotta
We had
hand it to
tickets
them.
to that game 7.
Ooh, you went over there?
We saw
Oh wait, that 7 didn't happen, right?
The game 7.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
that
a game
happened.
7.
That happened.
Yeah.
Here, it was the worst offensive game in history of the finals.
That's
Remember, it was
right.
a
And he sold the
defensive game.
tickets.
We sold the damn
What?
tickets.
Oh
We
my
were
God.
Wait, that's when the Lakers won, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and Kobe did terrible.
We were 24.
But that defense, though.
We were 24 seats from the floor, mid-court.
That team was one of the
You
best
got
defensive
paid.
teams
we got
ever.
paid. We got paid.
Wait,
though.
but that was what, 2010, 09?
09,
I don't remember.
08.
08. No, 08 they
09.
lost.
09.
So 09.
Yeah.
And that,
Yeah.
that.
We
you,
should've-
you guys did the right thing.
So let me finish my 5. Let me finish my top 5. Let me finish my top
If
5.
I recall your story
Let me
correctly.
finish my
We
top
got
5. Let me
5K
finish my
a
top
ticket.
5. Let me finish my top 5. So I got 2 right. So I'm gonna go with Pat Riley. I'm gonna go with Pat Riley number
Yeah.
3.
I gotta have him 3 because I got Phil Jackson number 2.
Okay.
Whoa, who's number 1?
Yeah, that's interesting.
We just said it. There's nobody. I believe, in my opinion, there's nobody better than Popovich. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna tell you
Okay.
why. I'm gonna tell you why.
Most wins?
It's not about wins though. You can't see it about like wins because sometimes you have a great coach and you don't have the talent and you can do whatever you want. But if they have better talent, they're gonna beat your ass.
You know what?
You know what I mean? Like if you
got a
don't have
point.
no talent, if you don't have no talent, and let me tell you something, I'm
got a point.
never gonna say that because that team for me, and I'm gonna tell you why because. Let me tell you something. Aside from the time that Tim Duncan, because Tim Duncan is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, power forward ever. Right?
Yeah,
So
I agree
like,
with you on that.
you know what I mean? But when you see the teams that they went against, all those championships,
Yeah.
all the teams had way better talent than them.
Yeah.
Way better talent than them. All the time. Maybe one time. Well, that time with LeBron is the only time because LeBron had
By
nobody
himself.
next to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But versus Kobe and Shaq, that team was crazy. And then all them teams was crazy.
That's true.
And there was less talent, but the way that he got all that team to move, it's like music. I'm a musician, right? So when you have a band and it's one sound, you can have 20,000
The
musicians,
conductor.
but it's one sound. And if it sounds like, oh, he's playing over there and they're playing over there, it's like the music doesn't hit. You have to have one sound. So I feel that that's what Popovich does with teams. Even now, that team, I don't think that team is great. They have a lot of great right now. But he makes them do
making it
things.
work. Right.
He makes
He's
it
making it
work.
work.
Is that ball movement?
how to put
You
all
know,
the
he know
pieces
who you not working. So
Remember the year they had the Sean kid? What was his name? They had the heart trouble. Ended up ending his career because he had a heart condition.
That was like 5 years ago?
Sean something.
Was that like
this
5
is-
years?
No, it was way. This is when he was winning. Back
Sean
in the day.
Elliott,
Yes.
bro. Let me tell you something about that team. Sean Elliott is nowhere near. He was a great defender, but
Yeah.
Sean Elliott ain't nowhere near to the top all team 1, all
Hit
team
a-
2, all team
hit a
3, all
key
team 4,
three. Hit a key 3.
and that team beat everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
That kid,
Hit a
nobody
key-
could
key
make
three
a bucket
quarter.
with that guy in front of them, and he made the threes. That's for me. That's why I love coaches that can have wins when this guy had 10 points, this guy had 15, this guy, the best one had 22, and they won that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have somebody on the other side, the two of them did 40, and they lost.
And they lost.
You know what I mean? So that's for me. I got to go with
No,
Pop
and
all
I
day.
think you got a point
Pop would
because
appreciate that.
yeah,
great.
Pop. I think you got a point. I mean, he's the original Warriors team. You know, he builds them up, and even today, like their team is like we don't know anybody on that team, and they're still within
still doing
they're playoff
okay.
contenders. Like they're
Yeah.
He has a formula.
yeah, absolutely.
He only missed the playoffs like was it last year or 2 years ago?
Good framework.
Yep.
You know.
See, South LA follows the Coach Popovich plan. You have to have a
We
good
follow
formula.
The community-based business
There you go.
framework that we created.
That's why Pop is his number one. Hey, that was a good choice, man.
That's my
Wow.
top five.
I prefer to go the Zen way, but you're going with the community route.
Hey,
Namaste.
there's one
And
guy
I
that
go,
I left
and I
out.
go,
I
I
would put
go
him.
with the foundation way. John Wooden.
John
from the
Wooden.
shoelaces up.
What's the name of the
crazy.
Pistons? The Bad Boys coach, the one that coached the 92.
Oh, with the haircut.
The haircut, the 92.
What was his name? He
The
died of
USA
cancer.
team. That's
He
the one
died
that
of
did the
cancer.
USA team, bro. That guy, I would put him.
Wait,
in the top
it's
five.
not Coach K?
No.
No,
The
no.
original, the Bad Boys like
He
Isaiah
was-
Thomas
okay.
and,
Looked like
and all these
Fred
people.
Flintstone.
I forgot his name. But anyway, this dude.
now.
Coach K.
No,
No.
Charles Jerome
Dang, look
Lacey?
at the teacher race.
Nelson
Daly.
Daly.
Let me tell you something about this guy. He got the
Daly.
92. You seen the special about the USA team?
No.
Oh, you got to see that. I'm not even gonna say nothing. You
All
got
right,
to see that.
don't say anything.
Don't gonna see that.
But he's a bad boy too.
He's a bad boy.
Yeah,
All right,
Daily.
is that the top 5?
that is a top fire.
That's a tough fire.
All right.
Crazy.
Well, just remember to go follow South LA Cafe. Come here and holla at them. You know, if you want to work with the community.
Recent comment. I'm curious of what they're
We got a
saying.
few. It's about the basketball, though. Let me put
Well,
it in
I
there.
wanna hear.
Nefertiti said,
Popovich.
Coach Popovich. Very
Yeah.
good
We all
analogy.
agree
As a
with you.
conductor, brings all the elements of sound to create a symphony and
That's right.
seamless symphony that works together in harmony. Great analogy.
That's
Thank you.
right.
Manu Ginobili,
Amen.
Tony, and Duncan.
That team
dude.
was sick, bro.
ridiculous.
Sick.
Forever.
R.I.P.
Anyway, go follow South LA Cafe.
Rest in
They're
peace.
not together anymore.
Ya tú sabes, estamos encendidos. Y ahora vamos a
And
cerrar ahora. We're going to close it up with We Cannot Leave Without our Suelta.
Oh, we're gonna do a
Freestyle.
suelta.
Bro, we
Oh
got
my
to do the
God.
Let's
Suelta.
do a suelta.
background.
Hey, so this is where we freestyle.
Uh-oh.
We're ready
We
for
freestyle, we put a
In the
beat.
background.
They're not going to be able to hear it, but
it. Yeah,
it's cool.
you won't be able to hear it.
But y'all
what are you
gonna hear
doing?
I'm looking at her and trying to see, like trying to figure something out.
What are you
No,
doing?
no, she's not saying anything.
Monica
Lo va a zumbar,
is
lo va a
not
zumbar.
giving away any cues.
Any cues at all?
Okay.
So you're not going to be able to hear it, but you're just going to hit a little bit of the beat
Okay.
there. Or whoever. Don't
Here.
put it in your ear because I
Okay.
cranked it so you can hear it a little bit. Anyway,
All right.
this is what we got today.
Zumba.
Tostones.
They're freestyling.
When
We're
I
not in
freestyle,
it.
I can't really freestyle in English. It's just
Yeah,
it doesn't
do
come
your
naturally.
thing. We don't need
So it's
you
gonna go in
freestyling.
Spanish.
Yeah, we're about to do Spanish and English,
But
maybe.
we throw some English in there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter
You
to
know?
You
me.
don't need to. What are you?
No,
why are
I'm just
trying
letting you.
to-
I'm just letting you know because you're gonna be like, oh, is that
But
gibberish?
she's the only one who
Do you
understand
get
it.
the vibe that
No,
we
but-
speak English?
She's gonna be the only one who understand
It
it.
doesn't matter what these
Joe is like,
They
yeah,
do.
no Spanish in the coffee shop, dude.
No.
Magic.
Spanish in the
More
coffee shop
Spanish.
all day long.
More Spanish in the coffee shop.
By
got
the
68%.
way, by the way, we're looking for a Spanish maestra. So.
Oh, all right. Hey, folks that are looking for a
Our
job
maestro.
and you speak Spanish, come
Yes,
through.
yes,
South
yes.
LA Cafe, they're looking.
This is what we got for today.
Let's go.
Oh,
Do your thing.
yeah, shit.
Yep.
We're supposed to go with the beat.
Tira tu primero.
Dale. Dice.
What is in this drink? It is good.
Eso está encendido.
Zumba, zumba.
Yup. Yeah, we getting lit. We gotta say we get it them drinks. And we doing it all night. but we putting up the real fight. Hey, shout out to my man Joe. That's a real strong foe. And you already know that we winning and we never stopping that though. Hey yo, dice como dice,
¿Cómo?
Pa' que sepa como cuando llegue ya tú sabes que no voy a parar porque llegamos con el padrino y no me importa un comino porque llegamos aquí a South LA. Pasando DTLA y ya tú sabes, güey.
Ey,
Que eso es ley. Hey yo, y no vamos a parar, no, porque lo que está encendido no saben qué hacemos, pero siempre metemos el lío.
¿Cómo?
Pero si tú estás ready, díselo a Freddy, porque mañana llegamos hasta que tú veas. Llegamos como sea, pero dame un segundo para que tú veas,
Tíralo.
para que ellos lo entiendan. Porque el padrino viene a apuntar la hacienda.
Míralo, estamos aquí en South LA. Sabes cómo es mi güey. Con Celia y con Joe. Nosotros hacemos wow porque la historia de ellos está por encima. Nos vamos bien lejos, nos vamos para arriba con la sabiduría que nos dice la Celia. Nos vamos por encima y estamos aquí con Totones. El padrino somos los mejores. Mónica está allá atrás. Tú sabes que vamos entonces, mira. Llegó Tostones, el padrino somos los mejores. Zumbo. Mira, oye, sabes que tú estás en mi memoria. Mira, nena, tú no eres la escoria, pero te digo que tú eras Yudidonia. Mami, yo no quiero una demonia. Y seguimos aquí, tranquilos. Saturday con tequila al mismo tiempo. Pa' mí dame un poco más. Sabes que same, ay, yo tengo hambre. Mami, vamos pa' escambre. Esa nena está loquita. Otro trago, vamos pa' encima.
Vamos pa' encima.
¿Cómo?
Ya tú sabes que llegaron los que no se quitan.
No.
Hey, pero acércate cerquita.
Sí.
Porque después de eso llega el que siempre se desquita.
Desquítate.
Hey, vamos para adelante. Y no sabes cómo es que lo hacemos, pero siempre lo hacemos bien elegante. Ya tú sabes, haciendo escante. Hey, un saludo a Celia, que lo hace bien como Celia, que dejó la cosa prendida, tipo Fania. Hey, pregúntale a Bluebania, que están encendidos en Miami, porque padrino llegó, ya tú sabes.
Sí.
Y estaba arriba, dale.
Mira, oye, la vida es un carnaval y yo sé que voy a gozar. Yo nunca voy a parar porque tú sabes que vamos a ganar. Estamos aquí vacilando, tú sabes que siempre estamos gozando. Ey, yo te digo mi top fire, mami vente pa' acá, yo te doy mi top fire. Ay, bailando toda la noche en el trio fight, montate en mi coche, mira, y nos vamos a gozar.
Dice, yo, let me tell you about something real important. We got the story that's never ending. We got the South LA Cafe that did everything they had in their power. And they just got the they got the building right hours. Yo, and they working for hours. They be doing it and they ain't not cowards. I can keep going because you know that we keep flowing. And I don't know what we saying, but when I say it, you know that we knowing.
Mira, tírale esto. This is a tribute to Nip right here, pero en español.
Zumba.
Mira, dímelo, hey, la verdad, la inspiración es todo lo que necesito. Yo quiero meterle el dinero porque tú sabes que eso es lo que necesita nuestro equipo. Vamos para adelante, hey. Mira, seguimos en la inversión. Tú sabes que tenemos este flow. Seguimos para adelante. Yo no tengo nada que perder porque aquí lo tengo todo. Tengo mis mentores. Y tengo a mi pana, todo el apoyo que necesito en mi cama. Ey, tengo a Dios en la ventana. Siempre orando cuando me levanto. Siempre orando cuando estoy gozando. Gracias mami porque me está apoyando. Gracias mami porque me está amando.
Aquí está pasando, ya tú sabes, recuérdalo. Porque lo hacemos de corazón. Y lo hacemos de verdad, no lo hacemos sin razón. Porque los que se creen que pueden con nosotros no pueden. Porque saben que lo hacemos como no son ustedes. Porque somos los que lo dejamos caer. Pa' que tú sepas, lo hacemos como es. Y you sabes, tostones, los que la rompen, el que siempre la pone, rompiendo corazones.
Uy.
Ey, dile padrino que ahora nos vamos pa' casa. No sé qué dijo, pero como quiera traemos lo que es South LA Café, you know.
¡Se fue!
Yes.
Yeah.
Yo.
Tíralo.
Yo, thank you so much for being here. Shout out to South LA Cafe, Joe and Celia. And we thank you. Remember, this is your boy Tostones.
This es el padrino.
Y recuerda, aquí está pasando. Shout out to Mónica Ramos. Peace.
Mónica.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys.
That was good.
That was great.
That was so fun.
That was
Pasando. Aquí está pasando.